Hi everyone, we're the relationship coaches. My name is Lindsay.
And I'm Lisa. And I want to know something. Tell me honestly, are you actively trying to make your relationship better? Or are you just coasting?
Yeah. What actually inspires people, Lise, to try to make their relationship better?
Great question.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it the problems that are going on in their relationship? Or is it that they're wondering how great things could be? Mm-hmm. Are they looking at what an ideal relationship is and trying to emulate that? Or is it driven by the trouble and the pain and the loneliness that they're experiencing?
Yeah. I would say most are the latter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In our sessions with the couples that we work with, we have an initial session with everyone, and we call that our discovery session. And when we say discovery, we mean discovery. We talk about it all, right? And one of the things we ask is, do you have a role model couple in your lives? Do you have a couple that you look up to that inspires you to make your relationship better or to emulate your relationship against theirs, right? And a lot of people will think to their wedding day for some reason after that question. And a lot of people think like, yeah, I absolutely do. It's my grandparents. They were married for 75 years. And, that is incredible. And you know what? That is incredible. But did they like each other? Sure, they were married for 75 years, but
nowadays, success is almost always measured by how many years you've been in your relationship, and that's gone on for centuries. Mm-hmm. So now the question that we're really asking is for those long-term relationships and the people that do choose to stay is are they happy? Are they fulfilled? Do they like their partner? And would you look at that relationship and say I want to talk to my partner the way they talk to each other. Mm-hmm. I want to be treated the way that they treated each other. And that usually is when people are like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And recently we had a couple that we worked with that sat there for 5 minutes and then reported back to me the next day and a week later and a week after that and said, I'm still having trouble with this question. I can't think of anyone in our lives, our friends, our family members, anyone that we know that has a relationship that we want to create ours to be similar to. Yeah. That is our goal, relationship goal.
Yeah.
And so they decided to become that role model relationship.
I love that. See, that's inspirational.
Right? Yeah, they said, you know what, we're going to become that. And so we did this whole exercise around what, an ideal relationship or how would you become a role model relationship? Mm-hmm. What does that even look like?
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone right now who's listening is probably thinking well, do I have an ideal relationship? Am I a role model couple? And if you're not, you are now. You are thinking about it now. And I think what's important about what you just said, Lise, is that they thought about it in terms of a goal, right? Mm-hmm. Is there a couple that would be hashtag couple goals, something we're shooting for? Mm-hmm. Everything in our life, we have goals, truly.
Yeah. Think about at your career. You're probably looking to somebody who is, 5 years ahead of you in a position that you're gunning for, that you're aiming for, or maybe you want to be owning that company. Yeah. And so when we look to those people in our lives, we see them as role models. We ask them to be our mentors. We say, teach us the ways to, live the life that you're living or to go down that path. And then we build our lives working towards that.
Yeah.
Right? When you have a sport, you do the same thing, right? You look around at other people doing the sport better than you, and you're like, teach me the ways. I recently picked up pickleball with a pickleball league. I just started yesterday. And, after my ego survived getting a serious ass kicking from all of the seniors on the court, I turned to them and I said, okay, I'm clearly not doing this right. Teach me the ways, be my role model, show me the way. Mm-hmm. And where couples get really stuck is this like not having that role model
Yeah.
and that relationship to try and work towards.
Yeah, I think that I love that you just gave that pickleball example. That's amazing. And it's so true though, like in sport especially, we see that our heroes, right? The people we want to emulate. Like if you think of like Olympic level people in sports, like so often when kids are going up through sports, it's like, well, I want to be like this person. I want to be like that person. And it makes it more tangible. You can shoot towards something when you know where you're going. But if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there?
Yes, such a good question.
Yeah.
So, do you know where you're going?
Yeah.
Do you know where you'd like to be going? If you could become that role model couple, who would you be? How would you show up? What would you be like? How would other people describe you as a couple that they want to be like?
Ooh, I like that. I like that. How would other people describe you? Yeah. Because what's interesting about that is that, you know, what I think a role model couple is probably different than what you think a role model couple is. Or maybe we're similar, but all that to say, like, everyone's idea of what a role model couple is going to be really different.
Yeah, it's so true. Maybe, like, the question that I want you to think about is, like, is your role model couple doing everything together? Are they the kind of couple that, you know, plays together, stays together, that has like the sports and the activities, and they always go on trips together, and, you know, they do that as a family but also as a couple, and if they do couples trips, it's, you know, it's still always together, you know? Or is your role model couple the kind of couple that does some things together but also has like a very individual life outside of that, with separate hobbies and separate, you know, trips that you go on with your friends? Like, when you think of that role model couple, what do you think of?
Yeah, I love that. When you imagine your role model couple, are they texting all day long, constantly in touch with one another? Or is your role model couple kind of like we do our own thing and we come together and we share every evening? When you're at I love this one. Okay, when you're at a party, Lise, if you're imagining your role model couple, is your role model couple the couple at a party that like walks into a room hand in hand and they go throughout that party, you know, talking to everyone together, work in the room together? Or when you're at a party, is your role model couple the ones that walk into a room and kind of like give each other a wink and a nod and then separate and work the room on their own and kind of like make eyes every once in a while, but they're talking to their own people, doing their own thing? Right?
Yeah. What is it to you? It's going to be unique to everyone. And what I find so fascinating about this conversation is not only getting to imagine what that role model couple looks like and how they're behaving and interacting with one another, but have you even thought about it? And have you discussed it with your partner, right? Often we find that like the issues and topics that come up in our coaching practice with couples is things that they differ on when it comes to what they see the ideal couple being.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. And yeah, is your role model couple, when you imagine them communicating about everything and anything, or is your role model couple kind of the ones who kind of keep things close to their chest, but, you know, once a month they have a little download and they really have this giant heart to heart?
Yeah, that's good. Is it a daily check-in or more like, the monthly date nights?
How does your role model couple even talk to one another? Like, how do they interact?
Yeah. Are they very private about their affection for one another, or is it more public? Do you see that role model couple at a social event, you know, bragging about their partner, talking about how amazing they are, how much they just adore them and love them? Or is it something that you see that couple doing more privately, you know, via text or, you know, cards or love notes or whatever it is, or just telling each other?
Yeah,
right?
and what I love about this conversation we're having right now is that, like so many of our conversations, there's no right or wrong. It's just different. there's just differences. And so I love this, that you get to really think about, like, what do I imagine?
Yeah.
So there you go. There's the homework from this video that you didn't even ask for. You get to go ahead and imagine what that is for you.
And to get even more granular, what I would implore you to do is sit down and journal like the ideal day of that role model couple.
Yeah.
So start from, what time are you waking up? Is it together or apart? How are you interacting over coffee or breakfast or physical activities? Are you separating for work or working together? How are you coming together at the end of the day? What does that look like? What does that feel like? How are your evenings then spent? And and get your partner to do the same exercise. It might be a fun date night activity.
Yeah. If you need to replay this video 20 times to catch all the questions she just asked, you should do that. Because they're good. I liked them.
Thanks.